So this is a swamp game from last night, and I thought I'd talk about a little bit about some of the features of swamp, and also some more tactics with the Object 430 version 2. When you're in this north spawn, basically they made it. I think this map slightly favors the south because they made it really easy for the south to defend this south bridge. It's very difficult for you on the north to cross. Whereas on the other hand, they can cross over here. It's slightly easier. And so what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to deny that. So usually what we'll try to do is go over to this area first to see if we can spot what their crossing is. In this particular case, they don't have artillery, so we're only worried about direct fire. And then so as we go out here, we're just basically going to watch what our team's dispersion is like and then react accordingly. And then so you'll notice that we basically start down about 1k health or so just because we have slightly lighter tanks. And then I'm watching our team. So we've got a good number of guys coming over here. So we should have fire support. We don't have guys going up here, which is always good to see, you know, whether there's artillery or not. So I stop here, and so they didn't really send any of their fast tanks, otherwise they would have been here already. And then there's this little ridge here, and then so I'm just going to peek over that. And then I'm going to try to use this ridge to keep it between me and these guys as they push forward. And then I'm just waiting for my fire support to get up here. And then you'll notice as I push more to the west here, that the guys that are crossing that little bridge area have harder and harder shots on me. I kind of need to reposition myself a little bit. And there's an E50 that's shooting me in the back of the turret right now, so I need to shift forward just a little bit. But you'll see how, like, these guys, I'm basically hulled down to these guys. And we actually have them encircled, right? So these guys are on lower ground, and they're taking fire from multiple positions, which is never the position that you want to end up in. And so they're basically stuck there now because they can't really retreat that efficiently. So they're basically screwed. And then so you'll see at that end of the exchange, now we're up like 3,700 health. So we went from like minus 1,000 to positive 3,700. And then what you don't want to do is try to push over on this side because, again, once you get over this side of the bridge, then it's really easy for them to shoot you. So what you want to do is you want to finish clearing out the center and then move across here usually. And it's the same thing from the south. Once you secure this side, usually you want to move across. And then I'm just relocating to over here because we've got more than enough firepower in the center. And we're gonna... And it's good to have a flank on either side and or both. And then you'll see at this point we basically went from being up like 4,000 health to like 2,000. So we're squandering it a little bit, mostly on this crossing right here. You can basically jump from these little hill to hill and be relatively safe. Just make sure you drop spot. And then I know where the E75 and the E50 are, so those are the two 9s, not too concerned about it. Not too concerned about their position, so I'm going to try to push up here as far as I can. I was just trying to figure out if that JP was going to run or if he was going to camp there. And apparently he's going to run himself into the lake. Which is an interesting play. I mean, they're only down, what, like 2,300 health or maybe less. But whatever. And then once you get to a certain depth, you can't fire your gun. It's basically about the halfway point on your tank. And then it's pretty much just clean up at this point. So anyways, it helped that there wasn't artillery, which allowed me to get over here and spot their tanks and basically pin them in on this section. But again, I have to be careful, right? I have to look back and see what our dispersion is like. I had 4 tanks coming up behind me and I had 4 tanks on this side, which means that as long as these guys were pinned here, these guys could get free shots on them. And so we basically obliterated them. Anyways, that's how I think that you should play Swamp from the side. Go across, secure this area, and then push across. And I think that you pretty much play it the same way from the other side. You push across, I'm sorry, you clear this out, and then you push across through the swamp again. Keep in mind that if you are playing the south side, it is easier to get here. If you're, like, you can go into this area from the south, but if you go here from the north, it's really sketchy, so I'd really recommend never doing that.